Jesus encounters a man who'd been blind since the day he was born. Jesus asks of him, whose fault is it? Why is this man blind? And his response to his own question is, it's no one's fault, for he is blind so that God's glory can be revealed in him. As he said this, he took some dirt, spit in it, rubbed it together to make mud, and put it on that man's eye. See. He was healed from his blindness, not only changing that man's life, but showing God's power and love that is still acting in our lives today.
Welcome to 2021. I hope this one goes a little bit better than last time. We are kicking off a new little subset of our Jesus Project theme, a concept that we're going to wrestle with this month. And we call this little part of our series, Facing Your Demons. Now, I know that's a weird term to use anywhere. It's strange to use it in church. And if you are just clicking on this and you just now found our worship service and just now seeing my face, you might assume, based on movies or stories that your grandmother told you, that the next thing I'm going to do is handle a big poisonous snake or something and do a lot of this gesture and a lot of this. But I assure you, no, there will be no handling of snakes and no such strange things. Whenever we read these stories about healings, about demons being cast out, in the Bible, we have to remember the context. This was pre-penicillin. They used the term demons for anything they couldn't understand. Was it spiritual activity from beyond the unknown, the supernatural? Maybe. Were these medical issues that they didn't have an explanation for at this time? Probably. But the point was, all the things that they couldn't understand, that they didn't know how to articulate, they saw it as something spiritual, something beyond their control, something beyond what they could see was going on. They talked about demons. Now today, in our postmodern, post-science, post-everything world where we think we know the magical medical terms, the concepts, all the ideas, and we have listened to the experts speak at us on television, we think we know how the world works. But as I look at what's going on in the world around me and in the community, I see that certain disturbing statistics are on the rise. That alcoholism is reaching a new high here in our country, that drug relapse, violent crimes, all on the rise. We even in 2020 in the United States set a record for the most number of traffic tickets issued to people driving over 100 miles an hour. That says that we've got a lot of things going on. And we might know medical terms about depression and anxiety, and we might know about addiction or other mental health issues. But really, when you're wrestling with it, when it's someone in your family, when you see the way things are going, I think the term demon might have some more mileage in it. I think something awful that we cannot explain, that's just overwhelming. I think it's good to have a word to use. But maybe that's just me. Now, the demon in this particular story isn't immediately visible. It isn't given a name like some others. In fact, at first reading, it might be a little bit hard to see. But let's walk through this story one more time that Carly so excellently read to us. Jesus is walking along and he finds a blind beggar. And he says about this blind man, why is he blind? Why did this bad thing happen to this random guy? It's a question as old as time itself. Within the Bible, you can go back to what is believed to be the oldest book in the Bible, Job. That's Job. You spell it Job if you want to look it up in your table of contents. That's where they begin to wrestle with this question. Why do bad things happen in the world? What is going on behind the scenes that made this occur? Why are things going so badly for this person? If you've ever experienced a tragedy or a strange medical condition, you know what it's like to have everybody around you, all the doctors, nurses, kings and horses and all the king's men, trying to figure out why did this happen? Some things are just beyond our ability to know. And Jesus says of this man, he's blind so that God's glory can be revealed. Spit on the mud, spit on the dirt, made a little mud. This is an interesting scene to witness if you think about it. Puts it on the man's eyes, and he could see. And this man immediately begins to tell his family, his friends, people who might know him, who he is. It sets off, though, the scene, the direction of the narrative where we find that demon I mentioned just a minute ago. He starts telling people what has happened. And word gets back to the Pharisees, the religious professionals, the people guarding the institution, that Jesus had done a healing miracle on the day when he was not supposed to work. And they immediately, seeing the fine print on this situation, set out on a classic whodunit. They go from the Pharisees to the Pinkertons in search of this mystery of what's going on here. And they find this man, and they start asking him questions. They even find his parents. I love his parents' answer. They kind of confer with their attorney, I imagine, and they say, yes, so we can confirm that he is our son. But no, we cannot exactly explain why he can see. He is, however, officially the age of an adult. You are allowed to ask him himself, and his attorney can meet with your attorneys to ascertain more information. It's just they're so scared of what's going on, and they know. But this man who was blind but now can see, he's not afraid. He's not afraid at all. He calls Jesus a great prophet. And he said, God would only heal through someone who is faithful and who believes. I was blind, and now I'm healed. Clearly, God had something to do with it. What an amazing and powerful testimony, a statement of truth, a miraculous healing of going from poverty, shame, nothingness, to being able to stand up in public amongst his peers and to speak a great truth about God and the universe. These religious professionals, they didn't celebrate it. They weren't looking for more information so they could post it on a bulletin board and share the good news. No. They were looking to get Jesus in trouble. They felt so threatened by what was going on around them. They had this man, this blind man who could now see, expelled from the community, and they were making notes of how they could get after Jesus. But Jesus does meet up with this man again. You know, he had trouble recognizing him before because, well, he was blind, but now he can see. He's face to face with Jesus, and he worships him. In this story, we see one man who is healed of the thing that was plaguing him all of his life. He was able to walk away from all that pain and to walk in a new direction, in the light, to have healing, to experience a resurrection. And it's a story that we're still telling 2,000 years later. And I want to pause there and point that out to say, this year we are kicking off with the message, the hope, through God, no matter what's on your back, through the help of the community, through the resources that we can help you find. There is hope. There is a new life. You can walk away from the demon that's haunting you. There's also another challenge. I'm able to stand up here and speak this word in good health. Many of us who hear this are as well. Because it's a reminder that We are to be about the business of God's healing in this world. We're to be helping people. We're to be making a difference, bringing people to come and to know Jesus so they too can have a new and better life. But I tell you, it may be easy to point a finger back through time at these Pharisees, but it sure is easy to want to read the fine print, to be really stuck on the way things are, to get really hung up, to be blinded by our own inward thinking and not see the wonderful thing that God is doing right in front of us. It's so tricky and so difficult. It's hard to even stand up here and say, because I am a religious professional. If you transported me through time, I would be one of these Pharisees. And all the humans that I can see right now in the room, because the rest of you are on the other side of that camera, well, y'all are right there with me. That's our job. It's what we do. But we have to remember to stay focused on the real purpose. Celebrate that good news. Be a part of what God is doing in this world. Because even if you sitting out there, if I standing up here, if we're not struggling with something that we might label as a demon, whether it be addiction, whether it be something that makes it difficult for us to just get out of bed in the morning, we know someone who is. We know plenty of people are around us driving down Church Street right now that we've yet to meet, that we've yet to reach out to and to help. As we're kicking off this new year, we want to do it right. We want to be here to help all of you who are in need and everyone else in our community who is struggling. So we're about to transition to a little conversation where I'm going to get to sit down in a little living room and talk with a couple other pastors about this passage and about this issue. But if you're struggling or if you're wondering how you can help, don't wait. Go ahead and give us a call. You can call the phones. Someone will answer. You can send us an email. We're here. We want to talk with you. We want to pray with you. And we want to be a part of what God's doing. Amen.